Welcome to my July 2024 update of the latest current account offers and news here in the UK. Let's kick off with those deals. Now, that's what you guys are after, and it's particularly those bank switching offers. Now, if you're regularly watching the channel or following all our other channels, such as becleveryourcash.com and our socials, you'll know that there has been a new one from Barclays just in the last week and a bit. £175 they are offering. It is a rare deal from them. Only the second time we've had an offer from Barclays since the pandemic. The last one we had was in late 2023. So it doesn't happen very often, which means many of you may well be eligible for it. Again, it won't go into all the details. Do check out that other video there, but I will come back to Barclays a few more times in this. Whatever, switch-wise, still can get £175 from Lloyds Bank as well, going by their Club Lloyds account. Again, for analysis of it over at becleveryourcash.com and in a separate video. That one ends at the end of this month on the 30th of July. So you've only got a few weeks left to take advantage of that if you wish. That's the last date for starting the switch. Still also running is £175 from First Direct. This one, we don't know when it's going to end. It could end at any time, but it's still around. One of the things that generally seems to be running for a lot of the year, although can never guarantee that. Now, that £725 can be increased if you apply it via a cashback site such as Quidco or Top Cashback. The amount on offer does vary between sites and week to week. At the time of recording this, it was around 35 quid on those two. So that adds up to £210 you'll get for opening the account and then for switching over and meeting all the criteria. Remember, all of these do have set criteria you need to follow, but they're all in the separate videos and the separate analysis that is available for you. The only other switch deal that is still in existence right now that you probably shouldn't look at, it's probably not worth it, but it's worth just mentioning it to you, is the Barclays again, but this is for their Premier banking with Avios. You would get a number of Avios points, roughly works out about 120 quid, something like that you get from that one. So it's obviously nowhere near as good as the main Barclays offer. But again, more details of that and all the other ones over at becleverwithyourcash.com/banks. We have seen a few disappear since my last update. So Nationwide, Santander, TSB and Co-op all went, and they all went without much notice, really. It was kind of, some of them sent a press release through and said it's going today or it's going on Monday. But it just shows you that some of these things can go pretty fast when they do go. So if there's any you're after and there isn't a set end date, then maybe you want to prioritize them. In terms of what's coming up soon, you guys always ask me, what's coming? It's really impossible to say, but I do know from previous years, we normally see an offer from Halifax in July or August. And I would expect NatWest and RBS to also come back with an offer now. But again, just because they've done it around this time in the past, doesn't mean they're going to do it anytime soon. But if they do, I will update you as soon as I can here on the channel with a separate video and article on the website. A couple of other offers to share with you. If you are a Santander customer, they've got a thing called Santander Boost. I mentioned it to you when it launched. It's okay. It's worth keeping an eye on. They send you emails, and sometimes there's things like money off at Morrison's or something like that. But they've added one now, which is worth definitely having a look at. And this is for something called the Cinema Society. Now, this is the kind of thing which most of the time you can only get access to it via maybe like work perks or maybe another sort of scheme you've signed up to. And effectively, when you've got this, you can get cut price tickets to most of the big cinema chains and a number of those kind of smaller independent chains as well. And now you can get that via your Santander Boost. It's well worth signing up for it. And to launch, they're giving you, 3,000 customers. So not a huge amount, but you can get £5 credit on your first order as well if you sign up. So worth doing that. Now, the tickets there, I had a quick look and it for Odeon and View, and they were coming in about £6, £6.50. So that £5 basically means it's knocking it down to about £1, £1.50 for a ticket, which is pretty good, right? So that initial offer, if it's going, that's good. Something to bear in mind though, going forward, if you're thinking about getting your tickets for you going to the movies, whatever it might be, is that these are generally set at the same rate for the whole chain. Not always, but generally for the whole chain. And you might know this, you probably noticed this, that prices can vary massively between different screens, different locations within the same chain. So don't just assume this is the cheapest place to get your ticket. Do just find out what they're charging you at the box office. It could be they're charging a £5. So why would you want to pay £6.50 when you can get it for less? But definitely worth signing up for that. And another one here, Barclays, again, the second mention they've got, there's been another one coming later on. Well, two more mentions, I think. This one is a new offer for customers with Blue Rewards or with Premier Banking. You can now get free Apple TV Plus and an MLS season pass. That's Major League Soccer. For having the account. So if you've already got Blue Rewards, already got Premier Banking, just log into your account and go through the things and you'll find it in the offers and you can activate it and that is free. Nothing's going to affect that. However, that does bring us on to the first bit of news. Offers are over. Let's talk about banking news now. This one is around Barclays, and this is around a huge revamp of the Blue Rewards benefits. At the moment, I'll cover this in more detail in a separate video and article, so I won't repeat myself too much here. You can check that out for more details, but I'll give you the headlines. At the moment, you pay £5 a month for Blue Rewards, but you can get that back as long as you meet the criteria, which is have 2 direct debits coming out of the account and have £800 paid into the account. So effectively, it cancels it out. So any features you get with Blue Rewards, such as the 5.12% paying rainy day saver, such as that new Apple TV, is effectively free, okay? That is going to end. The last time you're going to get that payment back is September. So if you carry on after September with Blue Rewards on your account, it will be charging you £5 a month. So that free Apple TV suddenly becomes, well, you're paying £5 for it and other stuff. Now, there might be other features, other offers that come along to justify that fee. We already know there's going to be 1% cash back on spending in September, October and November. Although we don't know the details of that, we just know it's happening. And I'll update you in a future one of these when we have all the information. So there might be other things, but broadly speaking, as a detail in that separate video, if you don't want to be paying 60 quid a year for Apple TV, and there are a number of ways you can get that for free elsewhere, or that rainy day saver, and there are a number of accounts out there which will match or beat that still, then you're going to want to be cancelling that in September. That'll be the last month where the payment will come in. At the start of the month, you'll still have to pay for September as well. You're still going to be down a £5 overall since the opening of the account. But broadly speaking, that's something to think about very clearly. I personally don't think it's going to be worth sticking with, but that's something for you to decide for yourselves. Let's talk about Monzo now. Monzo have added in some extra security measures for transfers. You probably have seen in the news quite a lot. We had an article over on the website just last week that's gone down really well. Thousands of people have been reading it around mobile phone theft. And when people steal these phones, they're not stealing them for your handset. They are stealing them to access your bank accounts and your savings. So what Monzo have done, and this is interesting here, is they've added in some new measures recently, just in the last few weeks, to help mitigate against that if your phone is stolen or crooks try to get through and steal your cash. Effectively, you're now able to set your own limits in terms of daily transfers out of the account and also from your savings accounts, your Monzo savings accounts into your Monzo current account. That set limit. And under that limit, you can make those changes just with using your normal Face ID or Thumb ID, whatever your phone is doing. However, if you want to transfer money over those limits, you're going to have to then match 2 of 3 different criteria. Now, you have to turn this on. It's not automatic, but you choose to turn this on. 2 out of 3 extra security measures on top of the biometrics. The first one is known locations. This means that you'll only be able to make the transaction that you want to do if you are in a set place. So it could be your home, could be work, wherever it might be, but you have to be in that place. The next option is something called trusted contacts, and that's basically another Monzo user would need to also approve the transfer, which seems a bit weird, but I guess it could be your partner or someone, not going to be maybe a mate, but someone who you trust with your, having that access to approving of your transactions, or a secret QR code that you can print out, or you could keep it on your phone, but that kind of defeats the purpose. I think you definitely want to sort of lock it away somehow, and that you can scan. And 2 of those 3 would be needed to authorize your payment. So good extra security, prevent the thieves doing things. Could be a little bit frustrating. I do wonder whether we're going to have to start going more towards this kind of thing when we've been sort of trying to get away from having the pads, the card readers, and put your card and enter stuff like that. That was kind of a real faff, really annoying, not very convenient, but it was secure. To where we are now, to where we might be going. So I'll keep you updated on other measures that come from different providers as well. While we're talking about apps, a quick heads up here on Santander. They have refreshed their app. So if you do update it, you're going to have to log in again with a 5-digit PIN that you set when you first set up online banking. So I guessed mine, I hadn't got it written down anywhere, and I was right, which was quite good. But some of you might have to sort of reset that in order to get access to the app again. It looks pretty slick. I haven't had a chance to properly look into what's going on there, but hopefully it's kind of be catching up with some of the other features that some of the more digital banks have been doing for a while now. However, it's worth just noting as well, a few features such as the ability to see your balance quickly or to raise a complaint. They're not there yet. They will be coming, but I'm sure they'll come with more and more features after that. Trading 212, I showed you last month that finally you'll be able to use that debit card on Apple Pay. Well, also in the last few weeks, you've been able to use it on Google Pay as well. So if you have got one of these cards, remember that is paying 1.5% cash back at home and abroad until the end of September. Then you'll be able to use it with your phone, meaning you don't have to pay that £5 fee to get a card delivered. Another digital bank update for you. This is around Revolut. Again, I've covered this in a separate video and article in more detail, so I won't go into all of that again right now. But Revolut have added Rev points, which basically means when you spend with your Revolut debit card, you will earn points. Those points can be used in various ways, but the main way they're kind of pushing that is transferring it into sort of air miles to use on different flights and things like that, although potentially you can use it for payments as well. Sounds exciting, but it's not really. You don't get much in return. I think you'd be much, much better off using a card like the Chase 1% debit card, or the occasional boosted offers we spoke about, Train 212 just now, Hyperjar offer that was running a few months ago, or a cashback credit card or points earning credit card like from American Express or the Barclays card Avios. They're going to be better for you all round. The only people I think this is for are people who are adamant they just want to use Revolut, they just want to use their card. Then you may as well get some points, but it's not going to earn you a fortune. A quick closure update for you. Halifax, Lloyds and Bank of Scotland, they are the latest ones to announce closures. We've got a list of all of those over at becleverwithyourcash.com, so do check that out if you want to find out if yours is affected. Metro, they've announced they are ditching fee-free spending in Europe. So this is going to take place from the end of August, 29th of August. After that, you will pay 2.99% in Europe, as you already do in the rest of the world. So if you have got a Metro card for fee-free spending in Europe, it's time to move on. There are better options out there. Again, I've detailed them recently in a separate video. Top pick probably is Chase, but again, there are other options out there which won't cost you anything anywhere in the world. And a couple short things for you as well. First Direct is ending text notifications. Now you might think, well, that's fine, I don't use them anymore, but some people will have used this. And this is for things like when your balance is getting below a certain amount, or a monthly statement or a weekly statement, you can see the last few transactions. That is going to end. If you want to carry on getting these kind of information, you're going to need to use the app. This is another example of First Direct pushing customers away from phone banking, text banking, things like that, to using the app. And obviously there are certain groups, maybe older people, more vulnerable people, who don't want to do app banking. So this is kind of a sad move from First Direct, I think. Similarly, Nationwide are going to get rid of their passbooks. Now, they say only 2% of their customers use passbooks. Effectively, this was you go into the branch and you would write in all your transactions, and that's how you would manage your money and budget your money and balances, all this kind of thing. Again, more likely to be older people who are doing this. That is going to end from February 2025, and they're going to start transitioning people over to a different method, which will be like printed out mini statements. Again, this is something they, say people don't use this service, but still sounds like 120,000 people might be impacted, but that is something that's on its way. My name's Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most from your bank.